Alrighty, hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sacred Sunday. Welcome in those who are tuning in for the very first time, and welcome back those who are repeated tuner inners. I know I need to find a better way to say that, but welcome in everyone. I appreciate you guys tuning in with me today. First and foremost, let's just say happy Father's Day to all the dads out there who are celebrating. This is your day. We are so appreciative and grateful for all the things that you do, knowingly and unknowingly, and I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying your day. Now, to get into the general gist of today's video. So today we are going to be reflecting. Today is our annual reflection day, which is associated with our birthday. My birthday was yesterday, but as you guys know, we drop content every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My birthday was yesterday on Saturday, so we're going to be doing our reflection day today. So it's like double the fun on double days. So we're going to be honoring and reflecting on all the things that we've experienced this past year from year to date, meaning from my last birthday until now. And then we're going to break down my experiences, the opportunities that I had, the losses, the wins, everything in the middle. We're just going to be reflecting on those times. I'm going to be open with you guys today. I know I'm not very open, but I'm going to try to my best to share a little bit about my experiences this past year. And then we're going to be going into all the goals that we have for the future and specifically in this upcoming year. So I hope you guys are just as excited. I wanted to tie this into what I believe God is trying to teach me and reflected on you guys and what I think God is trying to teach all of you. So I'm hoping that you guys are taking one day out of the year, specifically on your birthdays or at least around your birthdays, to reflect on all the successes, on the losses, all the wins, all the cries, all the happy moments, and then letting them structure what the next 365 days from your birthday is going to be like. And I do this now annually. This was something that someone that I know, I don't know if he wants to be associated with me publicly, but I wanted to share with you guys. And now that we're on YouTube, we're going to be doing this publicly. So without further ado, before we get into today's topic, do remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and do like the video, especially if your birthday is today. Like the video or comment below. I want to say happy birthday to you personally. But without further ado, let's get into today's topic. All right, you guys, so I am super happy. As you guys can see, I had an amazing birthday. It was a very intimate celebration with my family. They were able to come to my house, and we just had a good, nice, fun time. As Spanish people do, we had to bring out the food, all the snacks, the dessert, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who wished me happy birthday. Thank you to that person who sent me such an amazing gift, and thank you to my friends and my family for taking the time to celebrate with me, whether yesterday or today, and I'm very appreciative of all you guys. Now, let's get into our reflection day. So I wanted to do this with you guys because I think it's a beautiful tradition. I think it's more setting yourself up for success and acknowledging your successes, but also acknowledging the things that maybe you could have done better in your opportunities, or maybe things that you didn't have control over but were unfavorable, and take the lessons from that and build on this new upcoming year that's happening. And even though this is not gonna be a long video, I promise, but I wanted to share with you guys my experiences and what I think God has been teaching me throughout this time, looking back on all the things that I have experienced. So let's start off with that. Let's start off with my experience. So I've done my best to try to list things out. I just wanted to break it down into two categories because I don't want this to be a super long video. I want you guys to understand the structure that I'm following and apply it to your lives, and hopefully that this is something that will benefit you guys. So I tried my best to just do high level things, not because if I put day to day or week over week or in general, we would be here forever. So, and this is not going to go into any particular order of successes or losses. This is just as I was thinking through what I written down. So let's start off, but I'm going to try to organize this so it's more clear. So let's start off with some wins. So I was able to travel a lot last year. I was able to help people specifically a person that I cared about and loved very deeply. Kind of structure a lot of the goals that they had in their life around that time. So I'm happy to have been such a pivotal, I don't want to say tool, but a pivotal I guess for lack of a better word, tool for that specific person and their successes. And I'm happy, that they were able to get the things that they needed, and I'm happy to have supported there. I obviously started a YouTube channel. I wrote a book last year, and but shifting into, I surprisingly, when I was doing this, I realized that I've had a really tough year last year, to say the least. Even though there were so many things I was grateful for and so many things I got to be a part of. I don't want to name everything because there's certain things that you just keep private, but I probably had more losses last year than I actually did successes. And we all been there. We all been there where we just had a year that was just like a rough year. And the things that obviously stood out to me, like I'm no longer with my job. I've been with that company for almost 9 years around that point, and I'm no longer with them. I had several lawsuits that I had to deal with, and we don't need to get into the particulars. But that was just like an uphill battle that I was dealing with behind the scenes, even when I started the YouTube channel. And I'm happy to say that they're over and resolved, but that was something that I was dealing with literally all the way up until last month. So I'm happy that that's over, but that was extremely tough and hard. As you guys know, I did lose my dog last year. Not last year, very recently. And that has been a challenge within itself. Before all that, I did face heartbreak as well. So tying everything down the line, it's just like when I started the channel, I told you guys that a lot of things in my life took a turn that I didn't expect when I started YouTube, and that's a little bit of the things. Obviously, my dog was more recent, but that was a little bit of the things that I was kind of battling, like not having my job anymore, dealing with ongoing lawsuits. I have been dealing with just issues with a business partner or business relationship that is hopefully officially coming to an end, but that just got really unfavorable, to say to say nonetheless. It wasn't a part of the lawsuits, but that was a separate matter. And then I experienced heartbreak and loss in that relationship. So there was just a lot, there was a lot of things that, just I experienced up until 1 year. There's other things that I experienced, but I don't, those are just a few things that I just want to, that I'm willing to share with you guys, because there's certain things I just want to keep personal to myself. But I've also, just ending that segment on a better note, I also did grow my relationship closer to God and to my family. So I wanted to share with you guys those experiences and what I learned from those experiences, even though they were challenging. So for one, obviously, you don't really know when life is going to hit you with like several curveballs. And this is not, I'm not here to like go into detail of everything that I experienced, how they came about, and just the outcome of everything, right? I'm just here to just share you guys a little bit of my past year. It's been filled with great things, right? But it's also been filled with very great challenges. And sometimes I feel like we have a hard time and we focus more on the negative instead of the positive, but also we don't focus on what God is trying to teach us during those seasons in life. And I think that we can learn beautiful lessons from those unfavorable experiences. Like, for example, I'm going to give one specifically when it comes to heartbreak, because I think that there's a lot of people who allow that to make them bitter, to make them not have any hope when it comes to love. But one thing that I realized, and they tend to look at the other person in a negative way, right? But one thing that I realized is that, one, we're all human, and two, we're all entitled to the life and love that we personally desire. And sometimes you meet someone that you may have a great connection with, but for reasons unknown or for reasons known, it just may not work out. And you don't have to like demonize that person. You don't have to question God or be bitter. You can take the beauty from that relationship and realize, you know what? I care for that person, I love that person, and I really hope the best for that person. Even with the lawsuits, they obviously took me by surprise, and I wasn't expecting them, and they were hard to navigate through. There were times where I was genuinely frustrated, but I've learned patience through them. I learned the legal system through them. I learned how to better balance and calculate relationships, whether if it's business or professional. So between heartbreak and lawsuits, as crazy as that may sound, I learned a lot of valuable lessons that are going to stay with me forever. And yesterday when I was thinking through, because I did reflect the day before, on my actual birthday, once everyone has left my house, I did reflect on the past year, and I gathered some notes for today. But something when I was reflecting, something that stood up, I wrote it down, that stood out to me while I was reflecting is, I think God may be teaching us something different than what we may realize. He's teaching us about putting him first and growing with him. I smiled when I was thinking about that, when I had that realization, because I think that this entire season has been stripping away things I once leaned on. Sometimes we lean on our job, our financial certainty, my dog, our dog, whether it's friendships, your relationships, your business stability, even your vision on how your life up until that point is supposed to unfold. And when enough things disappear, eventually you're forced to ask, who am I when all this is gone? That is a painful question. And when I was experiencing these things and going through these things, it forced me to face myself of who I am outside of my financial certainty, outside of having love in my life, outside of having good business relationships and good relationships in general. I realized that who I am and what I want and what makes me happy, and that I can still have a lot of the great, amazing things that I have desired. But now with those experiences, I realized that there are other things that I've desired. And there are other things that I may not have wanted or realized that I wanted or realized I can do if I didn't have those experiences. If I didn't lose my job, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. I wouldn't be going in different business endeavors. I wouldn't have written a book. If I didn't experience that heartbreak, I wouldn't have known what's truly out there for me in the sense of like opportunities, right? Not just in love, but in other dynamics. Because one thing you guys may not know about me, when I'm in a relationship with someone, it's obviously for the intent of marriage, right? So I don't say my full devotion, because you have your life outside of your person, regardless if you want to be with them 24 hours a day. It wasn't necessarily like that. But just sharing with you guys a little bit, I was fully supportive of that person's vision. So it didn't minimize my responsibilities, but I balanced what I had going on and took on what support they needed from me. And though I still maintain that, well, obviously when you have to give and take when it comes to relationships and when it comes to marriage, it did teach me a lot. And it taught me overall, I think God was just trying to show me that there are other things out there, there are other things that he has for me, and he cannot to give them to me if I'm not willing to give up certain things. And what I mean by that, there's this person that I know that always shared with me, especially when I was going through this hard year in my life. Every time we would get on the phone, he would say to me, he said, "Sharon, I want to say something to you. Sometimes we are holding on to a teddy bear." And if he sees this, he may laugh. He says, sometimes we're holding on to a teddy bear, and we love that teddy bear so much, and we don't want to let it go. And God has his hand in front of us, asking us to give up the teddy bear. He has one hand in front of us, asking us to give up the teddy bear. He has another hand behind him, holding a better, bigger teddy bear. But we're so caught up in what we have to give up that we're not focused on what he has to give us. And that in this season, in this time of my life, it has really opened my eyes to realize how I should think about things. Sometimes the pain of losing, whether if it's love, whether if it's an opportunity, whether if it's my dog, isn't easy. It's not easy. But we're so focused on that, but then we're not focused on what's to come. And even though obviously I'm gonna mourn my dog, even though I'm taking this time in my life to heal from that heartbreak, and even though I'm going through different endeavors now to rebuild myself and my stability, I'm focused more on those things than I am on the things that I've lost. And I will honor my dear Sapphire in the ways that I can, but I can't control the things that I've lost. All I can do is focus on the things that are to come. So let's move over to the goals that I have for this upcoming year, because I'm so excited to share a little bit with you guys. We're not going to go into full details because I'm just the type of person that we have things that we plan, right? But we should wait until they're actually done to actually share them with the public. So to give you guys a little bit of what I want, I'm going to start with the number one thing. The number one thing that's always going to be a priority for me is continuous improvement and a continuous progression with my relationship with God. I continuously want to build my relationship with him because, as you guys can see right now, I'm in my era, you can kind of say, or my time of singleness, and I wouldn't be able to have gotten through everything that I have gotten through and be smiling with you guys today if it wasn't for my Lord and Savior. And then understanding that those experiences that I had as well help me make time for what's truly important as well, like my family. I was been so caught up with corporate America, and there's been times where I was there for big moments, right? I made myself available for big moments. I made sure that I could be, but for even regular things or even sometimes big moments, I was so caught up with my job that I didn't spend as much time as I should have with my family, and that was a point of correction as well with that. But anyway, moving on to the continuous successes, I want to obviously continue to build my relationship with God. I want to continue to be there for my nieces, my nephews, my sisters, my brothers, my family, my aunts, my siblings, my mom, and build fun experiences with them. But moving on into more my other goals, is I want to obviously continue to grow. We started things with YouTube, right? And I think I want to focus on this a little bit. We started with YouTube last year, but now we really just want to. I really just want to really just hone in and try to grow as much as possible. I still have a lot to learn, and I don't have all the equipment that I need. Obviously, with time, we'll get better and better. I'm actually moving pretty soon, so you guys will see a different setup. And then we'll obviously try to create, better audio and, a better, have like an actual studio in the place that I'm moving to. So you'll guys see the progression as we go along, but also like being more consistent with not just posting content, but sharing you guys clips, being more like intentional, and just put the best foot forward to grow this channel into however big that we can grow it. The second thing that the third, no, I think the fourth thing, that's the number four, excuse me, the fourth thing that I have a goal for is I want to create this beautiful work of art, right? I love architecture. I love older homes. I love estates. I love gardens. And this is going to be my little way of kind of like honoring Sapphire. But I don't have like a super grand home. The home that I'm moving back to, it's not like, a mega mansion or anything like that. But I think it's still important that we take what we have and just start with it and make it the most beautiful thing that we can make it from wherever we're starting from. So that's something that I want to do. You guys are probably going to see how that turns out. But I just wanted to create what I would view as like my little piece of beauty in the world, and then have that be the starting point of other projects that I want to do. But that's specifically for this year. It's a beautiful architecture project that I'm hoping by the time that we come back next year, we're doing a recap to share with you guys. Hopefully it's done sooner, but you guys know that building and constructing can take a lot. With that directly correlates my real estate goals. I think you guys know that I'm really into real estate, as obviously being into architecture. So kicking off my real estate goals. as well. So just trying to reacquire and reestablish properties there. So we'll see how that goes. But then number 5, which is most important, is allowing God to shape and mold my experiences. Yes, I have, and I'm not sharing with you guys all my goals, right? But these are the ones that I did want to share with you guys that really stand out to me. I want God to like kind of shape my experiences and really consult with Him when I'm making decisions. There are so many business partnerships that I am balancing out now. There's so many different opportunities that I'm trying to figure out like what's the right angle. There's technologies that I'm getting into, and hopefully going to share with you guys very soon. Well, I probably won't share them because the way that I'm launching these things, you know, I don't want it to be founder based. I want something that's gonna last, but we'll see regardless of how things go on. You know, God is gonna lead the decisions that we're making, and we're gonna do our best to consult with Him as we're doing these things. And I think it's important that we do that. That, you know, I want to build something that's beautiful, and that is its own little piece of beauty in the world, like we have these great estates in Europe or the pyramids in Egypt. I wanted, you know, to build something here that even if it's small, it's very significant and very beautiful and just timeless. And or whether we are, you know, building a real estate portfolio, or whether I'm having these meetings week in, week out. If you guys just knew my schedule, you'd be like, oh my gosh, Sharon, this is crazy. But I have these meetings week in, week out, trying to go through negotiations, talking with different people, seeing if, you know, we can work out some type of, you know, business relationship, whether if it's just in finances or whether if it's in real estate. I haven't decided if I'm going to be taking on any business partnerships when it comes to growing this space. That's something I'm still like YouTube specifically. That's something I'm still deciding. But since I just have more experience and more of a grasp of, you know, finance, of, you know, operations, of, you know, logistics, of you know, just scaling businesses and real estate. Obviously, outside of YouTube, those are the things that I'm accomplishing. So just found, you know, consulting with God and trying to see like, hey, is this something that I should move forward with? Is this something with someone, or this is a company that I should do business with? But just in general, when it comes to all my experiences, whether if it's professional or personal, especially in the terms of love, I want to consult with God. So that's pretty much what reflection is all about. It's acknowledging the pain and the successes that you experienced in the past year, sitting down and thinking about the lessons that have came from them and the good experience, and smiling on the good experiences that you have, but then also using them to shape your future. And I know I didn't share everything with you guys today, but I wanted to give you guys something and a general gist of why it's important to have that reflection. And I'm very appreciative of the person who shared this best practice with me. I wanted to share with you guys, and I just wanted to end there. I hope that this video was a blessing to you guys. I hope that you guys will take this best practice and do it on your reflection day, your birthdays, and you make the most of the year to come, because I know I will. I just want you guys to remember, and this is something that I'm keeping for myself: wherever God is taking me, I do not want my attachment to what I lost to keep me from embracing what He is giving me, because I promise you it's far greater than you and I can ever imagine. So that's all I have for today, you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Do remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below. If it was your birthday, I would love to say happy birthday. But I'll see you guys in my next video. So bye.